There's lots of new electric hatchbacks hitting the market at the moment, like the MG4, the Renault Megane E-Tech, and even the updated Volkswagen ID.3. But if you're looking for something a little bit different and a bit more exciting to look at, you might want to check out this. It's the Cupra Born, and it's Cupra's first ever electric car. It looks like a hot hatchback, but does it drive like one? I'm Caroline Kidd, and you're watching the Carzone YouTube channel. Remember, you can find more Cupras for sale on carzone.ie, Ireland's trusted motoring marketplace. Before we get into the rest of the video, please click subscribe to stay up to date with all our latest videos. And please give this video a like as well. The Born shares a battery and underpinnings with the ID.3 from sister brand Volkswagen. But think of the Born as the ID.3's rock chick sister. I mean, it's much more sporty and aggressive in its design. You get these unique headlamps with a triangular lighting signature, looks really cool. There's also a larger air intake for cooling the battery and lots of Cupra's copper signature trim as well. But I really like the look of this Cupra Born. I think it really stands out as one of the coolest looking of those compact electric hatchbacks on sale. It's from the side where the Born most resembles the ID.3, but they have beefed up this Born. So you get big wheels, a standard 18-inch. If you go for an eBoost model, it comes with 19-inch. This one has optional 20-inch wheels with performance tyres. Then there's also sporty sills along the lower end of the car. You've got rear privacy glass as well, and there's a textured surface in that C-pillar. This one is finished in Quasar Grey, looks really good, and costs about €600. It does look a lot like a hot hatchback. You've got this very pronounced roof spoiler, a diffuser effect in the rear bumper, and this light bar that stretches the whole way across the boot of the car. They call that a coast-to-coast light. And this Cupra badge is on a little carbon fibre background as well. But is it practical? Well, the short answer is yes, because the Born comes with a 385 litre boot. Now that's not the biggest in the class by any means. The Megane E-Tech has about 440 litres, but this is still a really good size. And there's a small bit of storage underneath the boot floor as well. But there's nowhere really to store the cables, unfortunately. So you'll just have to leave those in the boot. The Born is built on a pure EV platform, so it was designed from the ground up to be an electric vehicle. So that means there's a really good use of space inside the vehicle. So I've got plenty of legroom here and also plenty of headroom. There's also a flat floor that stretches the width of the back of the car here, so everybody gets pretty much equal amounts of legroom. The middle seat is a little bit on the small side, but that kind of goes with the territory of these compact hatchbacks. You get some nice seat fabric here, and in terms of the finish of the car, there are some more hard plastics here in the back of the car than in the front, but generally it is a comfortable place to spend time. We have a few USB-C ports, and there's also a rear armrest with 2 cup holders and a hatch that opens straight through to the boot. Inside, the cabin gets a really sporty ambience. It's got these really nice sports seats. They're finished in a nice fabric, and also Cupra's copper trim elements as well around the cabin. So it's very stylish and it's very interesting as well. We've got this nice steering wheel, and the eBoost versions come with these satellite buttons, and those allow you to access all the sportier driving modes quicker from the steering wheel. When it comes to quality, this car is very solidly built, feels good inside. There's some nice fabrics here as well, nice different textiles like this one here on the armrest and also in the doors. There are some harder plastics here in the doors, but they're not the cheap and nasty kind, so that's all good. There's also lots of storage, like here in the center console. We've got cup holders, and there's also some storage here under the armrest. You get this large touchscreen as standard. It comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Those are wireless connections, and also this small digital instrument cluster as well. Now, when it comes to adjusting, for example, the ventilation, there's no physical buttons. It's a very minimalist cabin. So you're accessing everything here from the touchscreen. And that's a little bit of a frustration really, because these little touch buttons, they're a little bit imprecise. They're not very satisfying to use, so it's a little bit awkward to always have to go into the screen to adjust that, particularly when you're driving as well. So that's something I'm not so keen on with the car. On the steering wheel, you do have these haptic buttons to adjust things like the volume and access the cruise control. Again, they're not the most satisfying to use. I think I'd prefer physical buttons here on the steering wheel. But it's a minor frustration in what is a good car and a nice cabin. It's very comfortable, it's got a nice sporty ambience. It's also a very well equipped car. So you've got heated steering wheel, heated front seats, there's a wireless smartphone charger and a reversing camera. And options include a Beats stereo and a panoramic glass roof. Lots of performance in this car. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 6.6 seconds in this 58 kilowatt hour Cupra Born. So standard versions of the Born get 204 horsepower, just like the ID3, but because Cupra is a more sporty performance brand within the Volkswagen group, they've done a few things to tweak this Cupra Born to make it more fun and exciting to drive. They kind of pitched this car like an electric hot hatchback. So standard versions get a 204 horsepower motor, just like the Volkswagen ID3, but Cupra is of course a more sporty performance brand within the Volkswagen group. So with the Born you get something that you don't get in the ID3, and that's an eBoost performance package. And it boosts power to about 231 horsepower. And it also has stronger front brakes as well. And Cupra has done a lot of little tweaks to the Born to make it a little bit sportier on the road. So it's got a lowered, stiffer suspension, it's got quicker steering as well. 0 to 50 kilometers per hour is just 2.6 seconds. And 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 6.6 seconds. So you access all the power and torque when you pop it into the Cupra mode. And this car just literally takes off like that. That acceleration is really addictive. For reference, a Volkswagen Golf GTI has about 245 horsepower and 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is 6.4 seconds. So this does offer hot hatchback-like performance, but of course without the noise and the drama of a traditional petrol-powered hatchback. But the handling is really excellent as well. The car corners exceptionally well. It's very stable. There's almost a 50-50 weight distribution. You've got the battery weight low down in the car. And I really like that steering as well. It's really quick and precise. So it's certainly one of the most fun to drive electric hatchbacks that you can buy. There are a number of different driving modes, like a comfort mode that gives you the smoothest suspension setup. So it's actually a reasonably comfortable electric hatchback as well, despite the performance bias. You could drive this every day and be very happy with this car. It's got a nice compliant suspension. It's also very refined, it's not too noisy here in the cabin. In terms of efficiency, the average consumption I'm getting is about 18.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So that's not astoundingly good, but it's reasonable for an electric hatchback like this as well. The range for the 58 kilowatt hour with the eBoost package is up to 422 kilometers. Now that's a little bit ambitious, particularly if you go around driving it in the Cupra mode all the time. But I still think you could get about 350 kilometers in this. So there's lots of driving between charges. And when it does come to charging, DC fast charging is available up to 120 kilowatt. So you can get an 80% battery charge in about 35 minutes. Then there's also an 11 kilowatt onboard AC charger for faster AC charging. But really this car is all about that fun acceleration when you have it in Cupra mode. It's really fun to drive. It's certainly one of the best compact electric hatchbacks to drive. None of these electric hatchbacks are cheap, but the Born is one of the better ones. Cupra is one of the fastest growing car brands in Ireland, and with the Born it's easy to see why. It looks great, it's got a great image, a nice cabin, and it's also really good fun to drive. There is a frustrating lack of buttons in the cabin, and I'm not so keen on the infotainment, but that's a small glitch in an otherwise brilliant electric hatchback. Remember, you can find more cars for sale on carzone.ie, Ireland's trusted motoring marketplace. If you liked this video, please click subscribe to stay up to date with all our latest videos. Don't forget to give this video a like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.